Is it our mind that binds us, or is it our beliefs? The mind, a vast landscape of possibilities, can either be our greatest ally or our cruelest captor. A young monk sought the guidance of Zen Master Bodhidharma, longing to free himself from his mental shackles. What he discovered about the power of the mind opened the door to true liberation. What if your greatest limitation was not the world around you, but the thoughts you hold within? The morning mist danced around the bamboo groves as the young monk sat on the temple steps. His eyes traced the distant horizon, where the mountains rose like ancient sentinels. The air was cool, but his mind was a storm. He felt trapped by his own doubts, fears circling like shadows. In the distance, Bodhidharma's figure emerged, calm as the river, his presence like a guiding light through the fog of uncertainty. "Master," the monk began, his voice barely more than a whisper. "My mind is my prison. I feel trapped by my own thoughts, unable to break free. How can I master my mind rather than be enslaved by it?" Bodhidharma looked at the monk with a softness that spoke of lifetimes of understanding. He motioned for the monk to sit beside him by the water's edge, where the ripples reflected the morning sky. "The mind is both a mirror and an ocean," Bodhidharma said. "But which one do you see?" Bodhidharma picked up a small stone and tossed it into the river. "Watch the ripples," he said. "See how they distort the reflection of the sky. So too does the mind distort reality with its thoughts. But if you let the water settle, the reflection will return, clear and true. Your mind, like this river, must learn stillness." The monk stared at the water, watching the ripples fade. "But Master," he asked, "how do I still my thoughts? They rise unbidden, like waves in a storm." Bodhidharma's eyes met his, steady and unwavering. "You do not fight the waves. You learn to float above them, untouched." The monk's heart trembled. "But how do I learn this? My mind is filled with fear and doubt, constantly dragging me under. How do I rise above it?" Bodhidharma smiled gently, a knowing gleam in his eyes. "The mind is a tool, not a tyrant. You have allowed it to rule you, to dictate your reality. But understand this: you are the sky, not the storm. Fear, doubt, they are passing clouds. They only stay as long as you hold on to them." The monk closed his eyes, the master's words echoing through him. He breathed deeply, feeling the thoughts pass like the clouds above him. For the first time he realized that the storm in his mind was not permanent. It was his attachment to these thoughts, his belief in their power, that kept him imprisoned. Slowly, a sense of peace began to bloom in his chest, soft as the petals of a lotus. When he opened his eyes, the river was still, reflecting the clear sky above. "I understand now, Master," the monk said quietly. "I am not my thoughts. I am the space in which they arise and fall." Bodhidharma nodded, a smile tugging at the corner of his lips. "Indeed, the mind is powerful, but only as powerful as you allow it to be. When you stop identifying with every thought, every fear, you realize that true freedom lies in the space between them. Remember this: the mind is a servant, not a master. Use it wisely, and you will find peace." As the sun began to rise, casting golden light over the mountains and the river, The monk sat in silence, feeling lighter than he had in years. The thoughts still came and went, but they no longer held the power they once did. He smiled softly, understanding that he had always held the key to his own freedom. In life, our greatest struggles often come from within, from the thoughts we cling to, the fears we allow to rule us. But what if you could master your mind, rather than be mastered by it? Take a moment to reflect. What thoughts are holding you back? Share your reflections below, and let's walk the path to mental freedom together.